Who are the contenders in the league? Who are the pretenders, right? I think we're getting to a point where a lot of teams' seasons are going to start to go different directions, right? The contenders will be separating themselves from the pretenders. And again, guys, we have got a great slate of games lined up. We will start in Fayetteville, Arkansas, hosting the South Carolina Gamecocks. I cannot wait, by the way, guys, to see the spreads on these games, right? The Vegas spreads, if you will. This is a 1 o'clock tip-off Eastern time in Fayetteville on SEC Network. You look at these two teams, guys. I mentioned two teams, two programs that could be going opposite directions. I think the winner and loser of this game, you're going to see that, right? Arkansas, they're holding on to hope that this season can be something they can salvage this season. Got a huge win at the buzzer a couple days ago against Texas A&M. Meanwhile, the Gamecocks looking to bounce back from a really brutal home loss to the Georgia Bulldogs, where they were 6.5-point favorites. South Carolina fans, hear me out on this one. Do not be surprised if you wake up tomorrow and Arkansas is the favorite in this game. Do not be surprised at all, because I think there's still a belief out there that, okay, South Carolina has been playing out over their skis. Georgia brought them back down to reality. I think most in the conference and nationally and even Vegas, that's more so how they view South Carolina. Arkansas, on the flip side, I think there's a belief that, you know what, as bad as they've been, they've got immense talent. And at some point, it's going to click for Eric Musselman's team. Now, what's intriguing in this game, guys, neither one of these teams is very good defensively at forcing turnovers. Each rank like outside of the top 250, both average around 10 turnovers or so per game that they force. Who's able to be more aggressive on the defensive side and make those big plays and make those big steals? On the flip side, who can protect the basketball, right? It all starts with Meechie Johnson for South Carolina. Miles Studi sidelined for a few weeks, so it puts even more pressure on Meechie to be that guy. That being said, I am going Arkansas in this game, guys. I think at Bud Walton Arena will be a great atmosphere on Saturday. I think Hog fans are holding out hope that this team can still turn it around. Guys, you look at their upcoming schedule, it sets up really nicely. If Arkansas can win this one, they can rattle off 3 or 4 or 5 in a row, get themselves right back in the thick of things. I think Arkansas was never a question of talent, just needed something to bounce their way. They got that against Texas A&M the other night. I think South Carolina licking their wounds from that Georgia loss, going on the road. Guys, again, it's really, really difficult to win on the road in the SEC. I don't care who you're playing. I think Arkansas will ride that momentum. I think they beat South Carolina in what's going to be a really good, close, competitive game. I think the Gamecocks are going to start to come back down to earth a little bit. Now sitting at 2-2 in conference play, I think this was always a team, guys, that was going to be a 7, maybe at best 8-win team in the league. I think that's still what they are. I think Studi being out hurts for South Carolina. I think Arkansas wins on the home floor, carrying that momentum over in this one and continues to fight to salvage their season. Now, we go to Knoxville, Tennessee, the 6th-ranked Tennessee Volunteers taking on the Alabama Crimson Tide. This is a 2 p.m. Eastern time tip-off on ESPN2. This is one of the games of the day, guys. Expect a lot of offense, a lot of scoring, a lot of offense. This one's going to be a really fun game back and forth. The question is this, guys. Can Dalton Knecht do it again? Can Dalton Knecht do it again? 3 straight games with 30 or more points. 39 points in the last game against the Florida Gators. And, of course, guys, you got this game at home. Rocky Top is going to be electric. Alabama, though, comes in. It's a sneaky upset opportunity right here. Bama with their offense, they get hot. They can beat anybody. But I do have to side with the Tennessee Volunteers here, guys, on the home floor. Again, I think this one's going to be a lot of fun. Very, very high scoring. This may be a game that whoever has the basketball last wins this game. I am going to go Tennessee, though, on the home floor to get it done. 3:30 p.m. Eastern tip-off in Starkville as Mississippi State takes on Vandy on the SEC Network, guys. This game needs no more explanation than Vandy stinks. I mean, guys, I am convinced. I don't think Vandy wins a single conference game. I just don't know who they beat. Will they slip up and win one? Maybe they could slip up and win two. Maybe it happens. But I don't see it. I really don't see it. I like Mississippi State to win. I like Mississippi State to get the job done. As I drop my mouse, I like Mississippi State to get the job done here. Easy win over the Vanderbilt Commodores. Guys, we go to the 4 o'clock game, 4 p.m. Eastern time tip-off. LSU hosts the Texas A&M Aggies. This is a game on ESPNU. And it's funny, I caught some grief this morning from our good friend Blake Ruffino of AYS Sports, who says, hey, anytime Texas A&M gets picked over LSU, we're going to have some problems. We're going to have some issues. Don't you dare do it. And I like what the Bayou Bengals are doing right now, guys. We had a piece this morning, one of our contributors, talking about LSU. Are they a contender? Are they a pretender? I like what LSU has done. I really do. I think Texas A&M on the road in this one, I think Buzz Williams' team, Wade Taylor, I think they show up ready to play. I think A&M pulls this off. I think A&M goes into the Bayou, goes into Baton Rouge. I think they find a way to get the job done. Wade Taylor leading the way with a really, really big game. Give me Texas A&M and that offensive attack to take down LSU. The 6 o'clock Eastern time tip-off, guys, on SEC Network features Kentucky. The 8th-ranked Cats take on the Georgia Bulldogs. This one's got upset written all over it. But I'm siding with Kentucky. I think Dillingham and the crew will get the job done, guys. Georgia coming off that big win against South Carolina at the CLA. I think the Dogs will give Kentucky a valiant effort. I think they'll give them a fight. I think they'll make Kentucky sweat. But Kentucky on the home floor, I got to go with the Cats. Missouri hosting the Florida Gators. Boy, you talk about a pair of teams that need a win. 8 p.m. Eastern time tip-off on ESPNU. Both of these teams are desperate for a victory. Missouri especially got staring at 0-5. They fall here in the SEC. 0-5. You can't fall to 0-5. Florida, meanwhile, comes into this ball game. What are they? 1-3, I think, in conference play, right? So tough times for both these programs. Missouri's got to get off the schneid at some point. Missouri it's weird to me. I feel like they're too talented to be where they are, really, truly. And they've had some tough losses. It makes no sense to me how porous they are in conference play right now. I am going to go with the Missouri Tigers here, guys, to protect the home floor. I think they finally get off the schneid, finally get their first SEC win of the season. And for Florida, it's just more questions. It's more question marks on question marks on question marks for the Florida Gators. Finally, guys, an 8:30 p.m. Eastern time tip-off to close out the day. The only ranked on ranked matchup tomorrow in the SEC. The 13th ranked Auburn Tigers host the 22nd ranked Ole Miss Rebels on the SEC Network. This one's going to be a lot of fun, guys. Ole Miss continuing to try to prove they're legit. Just lost to LSU. Chris Beard squad. How do they respond to that level of adversity? Guys, under normal circumstances, I would just, if they were playing maybe anybody else, I'd feel really, really good about Ole Miss looking a lot better, playing a lot better, and Chris Beard getting his team up off the mat. But there's nobody hotter in college basketball right now than the Auburn Tigers. Double-digit win after double-digit win after double-digit win. There's no reason to believe that won't happen here yet again. I think Auburn will continue to make a statement. I think they get the W. I think they win in blowout fashion, guys. It's all Auburn's been doing, and I think they will do it yet again against a hapless Ole Miss squad. You know that Auburn's arena is going to be shaking, by the way. You know Auburn's arena is going to be a straight-up madhouse. And for that reason, and the fact, oh, by the way, Auburn, one of the best teams in college basketball, I think they will get the job done, and they will take down the Ole Miss Rebels.